And while calculating, they considered only 24-2 point patterns, and the points, central 10-degree points are weighed more value, but still because there are within 3 degrees, there are no points testing, even though they gave more value to the central points. Because we are not considering only 16 points are there, the quality of vision also may not be exactly, the percentage of vision may not represent the index to represent the central vision. The main motto of taking the pattern deviation numerical plot into criteria is because we are removing the effect of cataract. That only point they have taken into consideration. And because we are removing the effect of cataract, the pattern deviation numerical plot is taken into consideration to calculate visual field index. And more weightage is given to the central points. But the most disadvantage of VFI is not calculated in 10-2, but in the coming printouts, I think they are going to calculate visual field index in 10-2 also. Coming to the glaucoma hemifield test. Glaucoma hemifield test, and this also, the outer set points of 30-2 are not considered. And the 2 nasal points are kept inside. Only the points of 24-2 are considered. And as you know, in glaucoma, the difference between the loss of retinal sensitivity on either side, there will be a difference. The comparing, they are divided into 5 zones and mirror images of 5 zones in the lower. The deviation values of these points, the sum of the deviation values and the sum of the deviation values, they compared how much difference it is there. And the sum of deviation values and this sum of deviation values, how much is the difference? And the sum of the deviation values. And according to that, it is given as borderline. If the deviation values are more outside normal limits, if they are borderline, it is borderline. And it gives abnormally low sensitive, abnormally high sensitive, abnormally high sensitive and with their high false positives, abnormally low sensitive values when there is advanced glaucomas, and if it is normal, within normal limits. So the most important thing what we see, the outer set of points of 30-2 are not considered while selecting the best 7th best deviation point. It is not considered while calculating the visual field index. It is the outer set of points of 30-2 are not considered while calculating the hemifield, glaucoma hemifield test. And the outer set of points are not considered in the Anderson's criteria. When the eye and these points will be tested last, and there's a lot of variability in this retinal sensitivity of these points. And when they are taking all these points into criteria, then why to go for 30-2? When we are not considering the outer set of points of 30-2 in all the calculations, and these points are tested last, the patient may be doing the test up to normal, and by the time he comes to these points, he may be fatigued, and a reliable test will become unreliable. Then that is why, unless otherwise there is a cross indication for 30-2, then only we should ask for the point pattern 30-2. Otherwise, mostly you can start with 24-2, Theta standard with the glaucoma suspect, or Theta fast where the patient cannot do. Suppose if the patient, normally a patient cannot do for a longer time concentration, or the patient in a neurological case, you can straight away go for Theta fast, where we don't require the depth of the field effect. In neurological cases, we only want to know the pattern of the field effect. When we want to know the pattern of the field effect, you can straight away go for Theta fast strategy, because the test can be finished in shorter time. Where we in all glaucomas, where the patient can do the test, you go for Theta standard. And only the indication of 30-2, I will tell you, in a OCT, if the field defect is the nerve fiber layer thinning is going towards the periphery in a straight or not taking curve towards the fovea or towards the macula, and if it is going straight towards and going periphery, then you should ask for 30-2. That is the only indication of asking the point pattern 30-2. Then in OCT will give you, or the nerve fiber layer defect will give you the direction of the nerve fiber layer defect when it is taking a long curve towards the periphery. Then you ask for 30-2. Otherwise, because someone may ask why you want to have 24-2 instead of 30-2, you can tell all the points. Now coming, this is the actually full threshold where the short-term, long-term fluctuation and short-term fluctuation. These are two words one should know. In the full threshold, now nobody is doing. In full threshold, during the test, 10 points will be tested twice. And there is a difference between the sensitivities, that is short-term fluctuation. Long-term fluctuation is inter-test variation. Short-term fluctuation is inter-test variation. In the difference between 10-2 and 24-2 or 30-2, the blind spot will be absent, and the p-value less than 0.5% is not calculated in 10-2. It is only p-value less than 1%. A black square will not be seen in the 10-2 point pattern. Glaucoma hemifield test will be absent because only in advanced cases only we go for 10- glaucoma hemifield test. This 10-2, but that is why the glaucoma hemifield test is to pick up early glaucoma. It is a software developed to pick up early glaucoma. It is the refined PhD to pick up early early diagnosis of glaucoma. This is actually the 24-2 Sita faster. I told you the 10 points are added within the 10. This is actually the same patient done with 24-2 Sita fast. And you see, we are appreciating this one. And 24-2 Sita faster, which saves the time 30% time, and the scotoma, we are better appreciated. Sometimes we may miss this one, and here we may, when this is there, you should ask for 10-2. There are 10 additional points. These are the 10 additional. Still, there are no points within the 3-degree sector. Coming to the interpretation, never interpret fields in isolation. You should always correlate with fundus. Actually, we start interpreting the probability plot. Understanding of the field effects, we start with raw data, but interpretation starts with probability plot. When we see a scotoma, the most important thing is whether this scotoma is correlating with the fundus, and is the scotoma is an artifact or non-glaucomatous field effect. So if you see the scotoma and not seeing the fundus, we may think that it is due to glaucoma. But once you see medullated nerve fiber and degenerative retina, this is causing. And it is a tilted disc. Tilted, if you see the field, and it appears as if it is a glaucomatous field. So, and this actually, the almost meticulous fundus examination is almost looking normal, but the patient once by walking, actually I got doubt, and by confrontation I did the field. By confrontation, you see, you can see bitemporal heminopia. Bitemporal heminopia. Even though when in the fundus photograph, it is coming as if it is almost normal, but when we see the examination, it is looking little paler. And this patient, see, the disc pallor, bitemporal heminopia. The most important thing is here, the disc pallor exceeding the cup. This thing, whenever a disc pallor exceeding the cup, you should always suspect tumor, and you should always ask for CT scan. Actually, this is the patient with AGPI done for narrow angles and mimicking the glaucomatous fields. So even this patient may be having glaucoma, still a glaucoma patient developing a tumor, CNS tumor. So the meticulous examination, the disc pallor exceeding the cup. That is the only point made me to ask for MRI, even though he is a known patient of glaucoma. Is AON and altitudinal field defect. And you see the generalized depression appreciated in the localized field. So these are identification of the artifact is very, very important, non-glaucomatous field defects. Now coming into the identification of artifacts due to the most important I asked you, we first do the foveal sensitivity, and once the foveal sensitivity is measured and correlate with foveal sensitivity and visual acuity. In this case, I have not compared the foveal sensitivity while doing the test because the tests were done in 2001, this patient. And once the patient is having 6/6 vision, but the foveal sensitivity is 28, because under is a -7 patient in fellow, and they did field without refractor correction given, and when it is given, the refractor correction disappeared. So once you follow the norms, always correlate the foveal sensitive visual acuity before the test will commence. Then we don't commit these mistakes. Then there will be what is the size of the pupil on visual fields. Normally, the normative data is taken with a size 3, and the normal size of the pupil is around 3 to 5. And actually, this is a more important practical problem. In the first visit, the patient comes, the AC depth is normal. We are suspecting with an undilated pupil, we are suspecting glaucoma, and all the investigations should be done in the same day. And we cannot take corrected EVOP, central corneal thickness, because we touch the cornea, and we can't do gonioscopy because we have to touch the cornea. Then we want to do the fields, and we have to take the fundus photograph. There are more practical problems. Then we should know what is the effect of dilated pupil on the visual fields. Normally, the visibility of the stimulus mainly depends heavily on the contrast. Here, contrast is unaffected. Only the affected is the retinal adaptation, and if the lens is crystalline, the cataractus, they can have a dispersion of the rays, and it can have a generalized effect on the mean deviation index, and it gives better value by 1 or 2 dB. So, but how this generalized effect can be nullified when you take the mean deviation index of pattern deviation numerical plot. How to know the mean deviation of pattern deviation numerical plot? So you see the 7th best deviation point plus 5 dB is added to all the points. So from the mean deviation index, you remove this plus 5, then the mean deviation will become 6.38. So the mean deviation of pattern deviation numerical plot is -3. So in the follow-up test, you consider the difference in mean deviation index, and the visual field index is calculated from the mean deviation index. So whatever the effect that is produced, the generalized effect produced by the dilated pupil will be nullified by the in the pattern deviation numerical plot, and progression analysis is mainly calculated from visual field index and GPA. So because GPA, visual field index, is derived from pattern deviation numerical plot, GPA is unaffected in the progression analysis. So even the pupil is dilated, and you can still assess the progression, and by taking into consideration of the mean deviation index of pattern deviation numerical plot, the difference between the two. And if you want to know the progression analysis from visual field index is already calculated from the pattern deviation numerical plot. So the effect of the people, maybe the mean deviation index is better than by 1 or 2 dB, and even you can consider the mean deviation of pattern deviation numerical plot. That is the effect of the size of the pupil and the visual fields. Here with the 2 millimeters, you see, whenever you see edge scotomas, you should always think of small pupil, false negatives, or rim artifacts. And the pupil is dilated, even in 30-2, the edge scotomas disappear. Is a pilocarbonated pupil, diagnosed as advanced glaucoma, and the pupil is stopped pilocarpine and the visual fields are taken. This is the field of 1997. This is the 2001 and 2006. Because of the pilocarpinized people. So not only you should always the visual fields we always say must be correlated with fundus. Not only with fundus, we should always correlate with the pupil size also. Whenever, especially we see very narrow fields with all peripheral scotomas. So entire eye should be taken into consideration, not only the fundus. Eye false fixation losses, eye false negatives, they can all produce artifacts. And see, this is the high false positives producing more scotomas in the pattern plot because the seventh best deviation point is on plus side, minus is added, generalized depression is added to the total deviation numerical plot, hence we will have more scotomas in the pattern plot. So by changing by proper education or by changing from SITA standard to fast strategies or changing the fixation target from central fixation to small diamond or a big diamond or changing the size of the stimulus from size 3 to size 4, you can reduce to the high fixation losses, high negatives to greater extent. I told you the 100% loss of fixations, it is maybe due to the wrong one-eyed patient wrongly entered during the test height tilt. I showed you in the when I talked about the grayscale, I told you, and the value of gaze tracking. See, in this field, someone actually sent to me, I actually talked on phone. We had one field with no blind spot, and this is the blind spot, they located something, and they asked me on phone. Then immediately only one thing I asked him. You see the fixation losses, almost that is 100% fixation loss. That means the wrongly entered eye. So whenever you don't see a blind spot, the blind spot usually may be one-eyed, and the wrongly entered eye, right eye is entered in the field and the left eye field was there. And sometimes the blind spot may be very small and it may be missed to locate the blind spot. I told you the blind spot displacement downwards when he is not fixing, not changing the shift from small diamond to central fixation. Sometimes we for very highly, when we educate the patient properly, they can be reduced. Fixation losses 7/15 came to 2/16. 2/16 means 2 times the light fell on the blind spot out of 16, and 16 times the light fell on the blind spot and he responded twice. If it is 0/16, 16 times they fell on the blind spot and the patient did not respond even a single time. Sometimes even how many times you repeat, sometimes the patient is doing wrong thing, then you change the central fixation to small diamond or a big diamond. In spite of changing from SITA standard to SITA fast, still the fixation false negatives are very high. Sometimes we have to change the size of the stimulus to size 5. Especially in the false negatives, we have to change the stimulus size from 3 to 5. The size of the stimulus is 16 times bigger than the size 3. And another most important thing is identification of the dim bulb. Here you see, he is a known patient of glaucoma, early glaucoma, but he is giving as if in an advanced case. And if you see the raw data, and there is an inferior sign in front of a numerical value. Normally, inferior sign appears in front of 0. That means this point is not getting response to the maximal light intensity. That is 0. Normally should be there. If it is appearing in front of any other than 0, any numerical value other than 0, you should appreciate that bulb is becoming dim. That is why, and you have to replace the bulb or recalibrate the bulb. That is why I always say, you always see the raw data before interpretations, because some of the lectures I found, the raw data in the single field analysis printout, raw data is given the last zone, and you should all, because everything is derived from raw data. Whatever the change in raw data we see in grayscale, whatever the change in raw data we see in the total deviation numerical plot, and whatever they change in the raw data, we see in the probability plot. The grayscale is a color format, shade format of raw data. It is the loss of retinal sensitivity, deviation from normative data, and this is the probability. So always see the raw data. You see, this is another example. See, this is also so grossly, because if you miss this inferior dim bulb, and while replacing, see, here appeared as maximum light intensity 10,000 AIs not responding. Here the maximum light is not 10,000 AIs, it was somewhere 9,500 or something like that. Here 10,000 AIs being used. See the difference in mean deviation, the mean deviation is minus 16. Here the mean deviation is minus 25. So always see the raw data. And here you see, this is the bulb. The it is done well done. The fixation loss is 0/22 and 0%, 0%. And still, even though the patient did the test exactly 100% accurate, because this is the inferior sign appearing in front of numerical value 2. That means the bulb is dim bulb, and we should not consider the dim. When the bulb is changed, we see they become normal. See, even though the patient 100% accurately done field, because the bulb is, and you are suspecting glaucoma, and this type of field we don't see usually. If this is coming, usually maybe false negatives, fixation, the rim artifacts, or even the dim bulb. Sometimes is giving and replace it with the bulb. This is, I told you, short-term fluctuation. The theta full threshold, intra-test variation, twice at best, and PSD and short-term fluctuation. Somebody will ask, what is meant by corrected pattern standard deviation? PSD minus short-term fluctuation is corrected pattern standard deviation, because now we are not doing full threshold or fast back. Even now, the theta fast is also being replaced with theta faster, 24-2C theta faster. It saves the 30% of the time. So today the talk is what all we learned about the understanding of single field analysis printout, understanding of conversion of total deviation to pattern deviation, understanding of mean deviation index, the mean deviation index, and understanding of PSD, understanding of visual field index, understanding of glaucoma imaging test. What all we learned today. Tomorrow we will apply all these fundamentals to interrupt visual fields. Thank you for the giving opportunity. Sir.
Dr. Reddy Garu?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Reddy. It's a wonderful talk, as usual. Yeah.
Sir,
each time we are learning something. Yeah.
No, whether it is wonderful or not, you always say wonderful.
No, so you have to appreciate. No, wonderful means wonderful only. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Every time now we are learning something new. That's
no, it is all the encouragement you have given me, sir. It's all the encouragement to you and Krishnadas, sir.
Oh my God, no, nothing. You're a hard worker and sincere. Yeah. Actually, that you understood from the basic, that's very important, no? Just reading superficial and what is necessary for clinical and your interpretation is different. But understanding the basics of perimetry, each and everything. Today, so many newer things like that PSD, what is the importance of PSD, and also the all other things like that even the visual field index and mean deviation index. All these things are some of the people, they may not understand the importance. That's the main thing. Yeah. So good. Very good, Reddy Garu. And
Actually,
any questions? Two questions.
Yes, sir. Some questions. Yes, sir. Questions are there from the audience. One or two, a few questions.
Okay, Kavita, you can ask.
Yeah. Actually, like the first question is like why we are always going for the 7th best point for arranging